hopefully this will work.
Should I use this?
You're right. If I need it. Okay, that works. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay. Good morning. Still morning, right? I hope everyone's still awake. I'm Kristy from Fresno State. Enology professor, mainly focused on wine. I graduated from Cornell University. I don't know how many years ago. I just completed my 7 years at Fresno State. So cannot imagine time fly, right? So at Fresno State, I mainly teach wine-related class, wine analysis, wine production. The most popular class, I guess, is wine tasting. Luckily, it's open to the local community. So if somebody interested in wine tasting, you're welcome to my classroom. It's in spring semester. So except for teaching, I also have some research projects, mainly focused on how to use different technology to improve the wine quality. And also I have some research project focused on how the vineyard practice impacts on the grape and the wine quality. So today, I'm gonna present the effect of biofungicide on grape and wine quality. So let's explore whether biofungicides will make your grape happy, healthy, eventually go to the wine, right? So this is my brief overview I will cover today. I will give you a little bit introduction, the biofungicide. Then I mainly focus on the two of my research projects related to the biofungicide. Then I definitely have a QA. Please feel free to ask me a question. Oh, before that, okay. I have, before start, I have a quick question for you, but I think it's very easy because we already have good learning today, right? The question is, what are the two most common wine grape disease in our California? I think you should. Powder mildew. Yeah, so that's wonderful. So I think you are very familiar with the two diseases. So I will not cover that because of time limit. So how about the effect of this disease on wine quality? We talk a lot about the grape disease, right? So how about the wine quality? Based on some studies, the powder mildew will increase the phenolics in white wine. So you think it might be good, right? But in most time, it will decrease the red wine color, mainly the isocyanine. So isocyanine is a bigger compound contribute to the red wine color. So powder mildew will significantly reduce the wine color. So that's really not good, right? And also increase the volatile acidity. Does somebody know what is the volatile acidity? Anybody have idea what is the volatile acidity? So mainly it is vinegar, in your kitchen, right? So your wine, if it tastes like vinegar, it's really bad, right? For the Botrytis bunch rot, it's also not really good. Will also decrease isocyanine and other phenolic compounds, and also increase the gluconic acid and the glycerol. So glycerol is very important for the wine mouthfeel. If you taste the wine, you like some wine texture, right? So for this disease can increase this glycerol, so it's too heavy, right? Sometimes it's really bad for the white wine. And also will change the acid content. You might know the acid is a big problem in our Central Valley because it's so hot. The acid is really degraded in the hot summertime. So this disease also will affect acid content, so makes the problem worse, right? Based on some study, only 5% berry infection from this disease can, make the wine taste so bad. You might smell like earthy, dusty, and mushroom. Sometimes the cooked tomato. So it's really not good, right? If you have a chance to come to my student wine tasting trial, you will know how bad this wine is. So we really don't like this troublemaker, right? Okay, so that's why we use a synthetic fungicide. You see a lot of product in the market. I remember it started to use a synthetic fungicide from 1940, so it's a very long time. The reason is very effective, right? So that's why we love it. So what's the problem of a synthetic fungicide? I think a lot of study already showed. Do you have any idea why, nowadays we have big concern for the synthetic fungicide? We are talking about whole morning about biofungicide, go green, right? So what's the big problem with synthetic fungicide?
Unsustainable.
Sustainable, definitely, right? And a lot of consumer worry about the chemical residue in our product, right? And also, this morning we mentioned the resistance for this chemical. So we really want to switch to the more organic, sustainable biofungicide. Yeah, so another big one issue for synthetic fungicide for our wine industry, because it will affect the wine quality. Start from the wine fermentation. It might stop the fermentation and also change the yeast behavior, because yeast is very important for the wine production, right? And definitely will change maybe the aroma, the color, also the taste of wine. So because of so many concern about the synthetic fungicide, so that's why we are thinking about use the biofungicide. So now everybody know what is a biofungicide, right? So what's the active ingredient for the biofungicide? Does somebody know what's active ingredients of a biofungicide?
Bacillus.
Yeah, bacillus, exactly. That's a bacteria, right? Yeah, bacteria or the plant extract. So we use like the living organism instead of chemical to control the disease. So this is more like a sustainable way. But now the big question is, do the biofungicide impact the wine quality? We love biofungicide, right? But what affect our finished wine? So far, there are not many studies about that. That's why my lab recent year focused on this area, how biofungicide affects on the finished wine. So today, I will share with you two projects related to the biofungicide. The first one is the effect of biofungicide on grape and wine composition and sensory characteristics of wine from California. So this is a really big project. We get big funding from both CDFA and Agricultural Research Institute. It's a 2 years project, collaboration between the Fresno State, Cal Poly, and the UC Extension. So my graduates worked super hard for this project. So today I will share with you some funding from this study. The main objective of this project is to analyze the potential change of the berry chemistry and the wine chemistry, and also for the finished wine, how the wine tastes. This project was conducted in 2 different locations, the Central Coast and the Central Valley. The reason why we choose these 2 locations, because they represent 2 very different grape growing conditions. Central Coast is a pretty cool area, and the Central Valley we know is a very hot wine region. So I think if we do this 2 regions, we can cover a lot of different information. There are 8 treatments we use for the project. 3 biofungicide. Here, SB, RB, and AB is a 3 pure biofungicide. So SB and AB is a bacteria-based biofungicide. The RB here is a plant extract, so a compound extract from the plant. So we use 3 biofungicide and applied weekly. And also we have other 3 treatments that combine with biofungicide and also the synthetic fungicide. So that's the combination, SB process, RB process, and AB process. And also we have S, that's a synthetic fungicide. And also we have a UTC, that's untreated control, that's no fungicide. So totally we have 8 treatment. For the Fresno Vineyard, 2023 we use Chardonnay, that's white, and the Carignan, that's a red variety. And 2024 we also use Chardonnay and then change the ruby cap. The reason is because the red variety, red wine grape is really struggling in Fresno area. Some people might know because of the harsh weather. So the commercial winery is pull off some red variety. So that's a very sad story. That's why 2024 we use a different red variety called ruby cap. For the Central Coast, we use both years we use Chardonnay and Pinot because these are 2 top variety in that area, right? We use the standard winemaking process. So this is just a brief winemaking process. After grape harvesting, they are destemmed and crushed. Then we add SO2 to protect the berries, and then the grape juice was co-setting and soaked. Then we inoculate a yeast called EC111A. The reason why so many yeast on the market, right? So why we use this yeast? Because it's very neutral, so will not affect the wine quality, because we just want to see how biofungicide affects on the wine, right? Not because from the yeast, right? So we use a very neutral yeast. Every day for the fermentation, my students monitor very carefully. You know, as a winemaker, you need to be very, very careful. If you're lazy someday, your wine will turn very bad. So you need to monitor every day. Then when grape juice was pressed, the wine get cold stabilization for about 1 month. Then the wine get very clear, right? And then we make sure the SO2, the acidity level, ethanol is very good. Then we bottle the wine and start the analysis. So this is a basic wine making process. Not very fancy, just a very basic procedure. You can do at home too. Then we did so many chemical analyses from the berry to the wine. The berry includes Brix is the sugar, right? And the pH TA is acidity. Then another parameter, volatile acidity, malic acid, lactic acid, gluconic acid, and the yin. So yin here is a nitrogen compound. It's like yeast food. So you give food to yeast, right? Then yeast is happy, then have very good fermentation, right? So we test all these parameters for the berry. And then for the wine, we also test the pH, TA, ethanol, malic acid, lactic acid, and also the color for the red. If it's a red wine, we also test the color. And also we use a very fancy HPLC machine to test the phenolic compound, because phenolic compound is super important for our wine. When you taste the wine, right, you look at the color, and then you think about the texture in your mouth, right? So a lot of phenolic compound contribute to this character. So that's why we use HPLC to test all these chemical compounds. Eventually, we did a sensory evaluation, because we want consumer love the wine, right? Eventually, you taste it, you love it, then you will buy it, right? So sensory evaluation is super important. Then definitely do a lot of data analysis. All the treatment is replicated in full time, so that's why we can do the statistic analysis. Okay, so let me share with our result. So again, we have 2 locations, right? So for the Fresno trial, first, let's talk about disease severity, because it's super important, right? So how biofungicide can control the disease, right? So 23-24 Fresno area, you can see the disease is not very high, and all the synthetic and the biofungicide work very well to control both the powder mildew and the botrytis, botrytis. So did a very good job for the control disease. because of time limit, I didn't put a lot of slides, data slides in today's presentation. My graduate students have 100 slides data, but I don't want to overwhelm you today. So I just give you like an overview of a result from Fresno trial. From Fresno trial, we found the biofungicide could promote nitrogen accumulation in the berries. That means can increase the yang content. I talk about the yang, right? This is Easter food, right? So after biofungicide application can increase the yang content, so help the fermentation, okay? The second one we found is very, very good for our area because the biofungicide application can increase the wine color, the red wine color, 51%. So that's very promising, right? Because in Central Valley, our wine industry really frustrated with the color because in the hot weather, the isocyanate compound degraded a lot. So we are very excited to this result. After the biofungicide application, we found a 51% increase of the red wine color. Also, we found biofungicide could increase the wine phenolic compound, especially the tannin. I don't know if anybody knows tannin. The tannin helps the wine tasting. So when you taste the wine, you feel some like bitterness, astringency, like a dry mouthfeel, right? So that's from the tannin. So we found after biofungicide application, the tannin compound increase. So that's really good for the, for the texture, right? So that's the three main finding we found from our Fresno trial, okay? Then we move on Central Coast trial. For the disease severity, 2023, 2024, so you can see big increase of the disease severity. The Central Coast is a very cool climate, right? Compared to Fresno, the disease severity is much high. But the good news is all the biofungicide and the synthetic treatment did a very good job to control both this the disease. Although the biofungicide is not good as synthetic fungicide. Like let me see. So these three is a biofungicide. The disease severity range from 9 to 20.8 for the Chardonnay, Botrytis bunch rot, and synthetic is 0.6, right? So it's still higher than synthetic, but it's pretty good to control. Yeah. Okay. So overview for the Central Coast result, we found one biofungicide that's based on the bacteria called Streptomyces biofungicide. They can reduce volatile acidity by 12%. As I mentioned, the VA is a vinegar compound, right? So, definitely affects the wine taste, right? So the biofungicide application can reduce the VA by 12%. So that's pretty good, right? And also for the Chardonnay, we found very interesting. The sensory test we found the Chardonnay tastes less passion fruit. I don't know if you have experience taste the passion fruit. So for the passion fruit, like for New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, if you have a chance to taste the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, the passion fruit is really good, right? If you taste it, this from New Zealand. It's really good. But for Chardonnay, if you have too much of this kind of aroma, this is not good sign, right? We really need a balance, like a citrus, apple, melon, peach have very balanced aroma, right? So this finding showed the biofungicide application can reduce the passion fruit aroma. So that's a really good sign, right? And also, same to the Fresno trial, the biofungicide also includes the tannin content. So that's the three main findings from the Central Coast trial. So again, we have so many data. I just didn't put a slide here. If somebody interested in the detailed data, I can share with you later, okay? So compared to this region, we found biofungicide is pretty effective both to control the disease and also to some extent can increase the wine quality. But different region, you need to consider use different biofungicide. For example, the Fresno trial, we recommend you use bacteria-based. You mentioned the bacillus-based biofungicide because they're really good to increase the yang content and also increase the color. So if you are the wine grape grower here in Fresno, we recommend you use this bacteria-based biofungicide. For the Central Coast, because have more disease, right? But the one biofungicide based on another bacteria showed good promising data. So it really depends on the one region. You need a, you can consider different biofungicide because different biofungicide, they have a different active ingredient. So yeah, you needed to, that's why we needed to do more research, right? To better understand what kind of biofungicide is good for different region, okay? So that's the one big project we did. We spent 2 years for that, but it's pretty promising. We are very excited. We are working on the publication. So it should publish next year, so I will share with you. The second project we did with Rovensa Next is a biopesticide program for the grape disease control and wine quality improvement. So first I will ask Dr. Ping to talk about the field trial and the disease control. Then I will follow up to talk about the grape and wine quality.
Thank you, Kristy. So I think this morning John introduced me. So I am the development manager at Rovensa Next North America. So this project, so let's see, in previously Nate talked about how typhoon alone and also in a program approach, right? So with partner program, right? So how typhoon affect disease control, right? And Kristy talked about other biofungicides like bacillus type or like plant extract, so this type of software chemistry fungicide, how they affect disease control and wine quality. And this project, we are looking at Rovensa Next biopesticides, how our products affect disease control and wine quality. So we did this project back in 2023. With Egg Matrix Group. I think most of you heard this research company previously called Pacific Egg Research Group, right? So they help with the field part. They help with the plots treatment application, and they also help with the disease rating and also harvest berry and bring it to the lab at Fresno State and Kristy's lab for the grape wine fermentation and evaluating the wine quality. So the variety used is Chardonnay, and the trial location it's on the coast. It's in San Luis Obispo. So you will see in this trial that we had 12 sprays, right? So you're in the Central Coast, in the Central Valley here, we don't have that many sprays, but on the coast, yes, disease pressure, depending on, so like even in July, in early August, disease pressure is still pretty high. So in the original protocol, we only had 6 sprays, right? And I was called up by the research company said, hey, disease pressure is still high, so then we added 4 more sprays. So that's why we end up with 12 sprays. So here in this trial, so we have 4 treatments. So of course we have the untreated, right? Second treatment is what we call standard program. So we had, at the beginning of the season, we had 2 sprays of the sulfur product. It's called the microdial or disperse, right? So many of you already heard that. And then we had 2 sprays of Nona experience, and 2 sprays of pristine, and 2 sprays of elevate, and then 3 sprays of the sulfur product. Then we end up with one more spray of the pristine. And then for the partner, we call partner program. So basically, we replaced the pristine and the elevate application in the standard program. So you see I have it in the yellow text there. So we replaced with our products. You can find these products in the brochure on the table. So one is our cinnamon oil product, and another one is a bacillus type product. It's called the Milagron Plus. So that's a true biopesticide we use in this other program. So then for our biopesticide program, all of the products is ours. It's from our company. So we still use the cinnamon oil-based product, and then we had a Typhon. So Nate talked about Typhon, how Typhon works as a fungicide for control, powder mildew, botrytis, and other, other diseases as well. So and then we had Milagron, and then we finish up with 6 sprays of the cinnamon oil product. And I have the rates of the other products being used listed in the table on the right. So you see it's pretty much the label rates first. So then, so let's look at on the disease control side. Here we are looking at the severity of powder mildew. So looking at let's look at the percent of the cluster surface being infected with the disease, right? So if you look at there, for the control level, you see for the standard program, we control very well. We had 95% control of this disease. And for the partial program, pretty good, right? Very competitive, So very well, 93% control. And then for our Rovensa biopesticide program, so every single product used in this program is our product. So we have 89% of control. So these pictures are taken 7 days after 12 sprays. So you look at the picture on the top left is untreated. You see almost it's a very high disease pressure. So almost every single berry is covered with the mycelium. And the standard program, top right, you see very clean, right? So very clean clusters there, very pretty berries there as well. So and for the partner program, you see pretty much the same as the standard program, and for our biopesticide program, pretty much the same as the standard program. And these are the pictures taken at harvest. You see the untreated berries on the top left. You see lots of a bunch. Once you have that powder mildew, actually weakens the berry and make the bunch rot more susceptible. You see how bad these berries are, right? So these are at harvest. And for the standard program, you see very clean berries, yeah. So next, I will turn to Kristy, and she will talk about how these different programs are going to affect the one quality. As I said, we take these berries back to her lab, and she did the one fermentation and check the one quality.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's look at the grape and the wine quality. So this slide shows the grape quality analysis. So break is the sugar level. It's pretty comparable to the control, same to the pH, that's acidity, and titratable acidity is also is the acidity testing. Again, the yeast assimilable is Yang I already mentioned before. So this basic parameter is very comparable to the control. All is within the acceptable region, so that means pretty good. So one parameter I want to mention here called the grape health index. You might not heard about this parameter. This index I don't know if somebody know a machine called Wine Scan. Anybody know equipment called a wine scan. So if you're working in a big industry, the wine industry, every company, they have a wine scan. The reason is because only take 1 or 2 minutes, you can get about more than 20 parameter data. So it's very, very efficient. If you use a wine scan, you have the data. So we can use a model to calculate the grape health index. So you get the number, right? If a number here, for example, here, 16.4, 16.9, that means the grape health status is pretty good. The grape quality is good. If the number is about 18 or 20, sometimes 50, so that means the grape health is really low, right? So you cannot use that for your wine production. So we tell the company, right, the grape health index in just 1 to 2 minutes, so you can decide if we can use a grape for the wine production. So that's the one big project for one of our graduate students. So from this data, this trial, we see the biofungicide treatment reduce the grape health index. So that is confirmed with disease control data, right? So this for the grape data. Now let's move on to the wine quality. So we did a very comprehensive sensory evaluation for the beautiful Chardonnay. So did anybody taste the Central Coast Chardonnay before? Central Coast Paso Robles or San Luisville or Santa Barbara Chardonnay? Do you like it? No experience? So there are different, type of Chardonnay. The most famous is France Burgundy, right? Called the Chablis Chardonnay. They taste like very citrus. So that's their typical, expectation. But for us, California Chardonnay, especially Central Coast, is still very high quality. Usually features like citrus, melon, peach, pineapple, right? So that's a typical California Chardonnay. So you can typical aroma profile here: citrus, floral, banana, melon, peach, apple. So you can see the untreated, no fungicide one have pretty high citrus, very high score for the citrus. So when you taste it, very high lemon, right? And for our biofungicide, it turned out pretty balanced. So you have citrus, apple, peach, floral, so it's very balanced. So that's really good in terms of a wine aroma profile. And then after you smell it, right, you're gonna taste the wine, right? So this is the data for the wine mouthfeel profile, include sweetness and acidity, bitterness, astringency. So based on this data, we also found biofungicide application have pretty balanced taste, mouthfeel features. The high quality wine is not because of the price is very high. Napa always balanced, okay? So based on this study, biofungicide show pretty balanced Chardonnay wine. So this is the overall quality result. And again, the biofungicide trial showed pretty overall quality. So that's really, exciting for, when my student work on this project, show the data for me, I was so happy. This, first time we run how the biofungicide, affects on wine quality. So for the Chardonnay, this from Central Coast is really pretty good result, very exciting. So overall, combined with Dr. Wang's presentation, so this trial really controls the disease well and also showed very high grape and wine quality. Okay, so thank you for your listening. I hope you learned something. This is my graduate student. He worked super hard, 2 years for this project and graduated last May. Really appreciate his hard work. Do you have any question for me? Maybe you want to taste some wine, right? To confirm my presentation. Okay, everybody good?